you are ready to see this year's Christmas pageant, I think you could give us a big yes. Yes. Wonderful. Are you ready to go? Okay.
Welcome to all who have traveled tonight to hear of a story that just might make you see Christmas a little differently, different than last year and years to come. Meet Rooty. He's a young seed, a sweet sapling, it's true, and he has a Christmas wish, a lot like me, maybe a lot like you. He wants to find the real reason behind this Christmas season, but he's not quite sure why Christmas is such a big celebration. He loves all the singing, the decorations, and yummy food. He loves Santa and his reindeer and people doing good. He looks forward to all his family being around, and most of all, above anything, he loves traveling to Tinseltown. Every year, many of these trees, some young and some old, dream about being crowned the Grand Master Christmas tree. The best of them all, and Rooty, now come of age, has dreamed long for the day that this time, when he travels to Tinseltown, he may possibly say,
"I'm the Grand Master Christmas tree now. I must surely know the true meaning of Christmas."
Rooty, are you putting on a show?
Mom, I'm pretending I'm the best tree around because I'm going to be the Grand Master Christmas tree at Tinseltown this year.
Well, no doubt you are the grandest tree around.
So can I go down the days flying here to travel to Tinseltown so I can be the Grand Master Christmas tree?
Not until your father comes.
But Mom,
You are a special tree already. You have nothing to prove. You can go off and participate in the pageant, but always know that you are a special tree. And at your heartwood, and your heartwood is strong and true. So remember, there is only one special tree like this.
And remember that even though Tinseltown streets are sparkling with holiday glitter and fair, Christmas isn't all about the shiny things you have seen.
Keep your eyes open, your head up, and don't let your heart get down. The real meaning of Christmas is always close by, so open your eyes, brighten your heart.
With a hug and a kiss, Rooty's journey began. He and his 4 friends, Juniper, Hawthorne, Fern, and Branchy, began their journey to Tinseltown. His friends were just as eager as him, and off to Tinseltown they went, because they all wanted the chance to be this year's celebrated Grand Master Christmas tree. And you might want to know, when he got there, did he find the true meaning of Christmas? Well, stick around a while. We'll discover that in time. It was a tradition that all those on their way to Tinseltown would first stop at the Primp and Pruning Styling Studio before heading down the road to festivities. After all, Grandmaster trees were always the most beautiful, handsome, sparkling, and dressed up trees.
As for me, I'll clean cut and prune, just a little bit right here, and splash up oodle whatever you got over there.
Can I have my like hawthorns? Just a little off the top and not a whole lot. I'm already the smallest family tree, and I don't always want to be.
my mom said she thinks I don't need to fuss with all the fancy pruning and decorating, but I'm afraid just being myself isn't enough. So do what you think will give me notice among all the trees, if you please.
All gussied up and fancy, all dripping with glitter, the little trees were dressed up and ready to shimmer. For the Grand Master judges, their next stop was the pageant parade. Watch as these hopeful young friends parade down Candy Cane Lane to the pageant site. They paraded down Candy Cane Lane, all dazzled up in their holiday best, and just like the rest, Branchy and Hawthorne, Juniper and Fern, and of course Wide-Eyed Rooty, agreed that this was a dream that had finally come true. Surely if Christmas was anywhere, it was in places like this, where strings of lights were followed by miles of garland, tinsel by the tons, and hot cocoa by the gallons.
Oh, look, there's so much to see. Look there, that's exactly the Christmas tree I want to be. Look at this. Oh, what a sight. That's the kind of Christmas tree I want to be all the way.
We're all so decorated so perfectly. We're all just so tall.
As Rooty was admiring all the sights, he overheard a conversation of two older, wiser trees.
Remember the time way back when the first Grand Master Tree pageant ever happened? Now, ask the postcard. We all know it's true. Can't just live on the stage for these little trees like it was for me or for you. Well, just look at all the tinsel, all the trumpets, and the prayer bottles and bows. I remember when Christmas meant traveling down a much simpler road. Dearest, don't fret. That road is still there, and they still bring directions to the Methodist reindeer. I thought so too, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Oh, Aspen, it's not there. Now that just isn't fair. Look at all these street cyclones. They've come here to find the real meaning of Christmas, and all they'll find you and mine is rebellion from too many streets and disappointment. When they wake up on the other side of Christmas Day, all these fixings will be packed away. The road is still here, and yes, these days there's hundreds of cars. But when the pageant is over, there will be less direction for anyone who would like to find it. Dear Aspen, there's still time. Hold tight. Oh well, I hope to heaven that you're right.
Now Rooty was caught by this curious conversation, so wrapped up in the older tree's words, he forgot the surrounding celebration and asked them just with a little hesitation.
Another road, you say there's another road that leads to where the meaning of Christmas can be found? Another road that's nearby and it's not here in Tinseltown?
Why, the sun is right down. Come on, Rooty, it's time to go. It's time to show the judges their branches. What are the chances one of us will be named the next Grand Master Christmas tree?
I'm coming in 1 second. Just wait. I just want to see.
Come on, Rooty.
Let's go. This way. Follow me.
And so most of the world goes in that little road where Christmas is just waiting right on your mouth. Maybe next year, my dear. Oh, Aspen, I hope so.
Was there really another road to travel? A better decision? Was there another way to go to discover the real meaning of Christmas? One that wasn't all show? Would Rooty ever know the true meaning of Christmas? One that wasn't all show? Would Rooty ever know the true reason of the season? The true heart of this holiday? Well, right now, I can't say. No, not just yet. Because for now, they all they were all off to perform in a pageant to see who would get the chance to be named the Grand Master Christmas Tree. Who knows? Maybe it will be Rooty.
Ladies and gentlemen, come one and come all to the glorious Grandmaster Tree Pageant, the place where all dreams will get the most. The place where all dreams will get the most gifts, where the Christmas star crown and rule over all. Now let's begin with our first round of judging to see who is worthy of being named the next Grandmaster Christmas Tree.
The judges were meticulous. The judges were tough. They gave their gifts to the trees that they were the best and beautiful enough to be named the Grand Master Christmas Tree. The first round was quickly done, and still Rooty didn't have a single present beneath his branches. No, not one. Round 2, and I'm afraid it was much the same. Rooty failed to impress, and so no presents. In fact, he remained without a single judge's gift through round 3, 4, 5. Rooty tried his hardest not to break down and cry. Then the final round came.
If we don't call your name, then thank you, but no, you are not good enough to be this year's magically majestic and glorious Grandmaster Christmas Tree.
They called out the names Juniper, Hawthorn, and Fern. They called out some other names that Rooty barely heard. Ever and Olive, Red, and Hickory. And last but not least, they called the name Branchy as the Grand Master Christmas Tree.
The Grandmaster Christmas Tree.
Poor Rooty. Poor Rooty, his Christmas wish, it seemed, was not granted. He couldn't understand the true meaning of Christmas, was nowhere to be found. He had dreamed for so long to travel to Tinseltown and wear the star crown and get all the gifts and be named the Grand Master of all trees. But this year, at least, it was not to be. Rooty wanted to cry. Then Rooty remembered what he always knew and would always remember when he needed to know.
A majestic little tree, and you don't have to be anything other than yourself to be loved by Daddy and me.
And you don't have to be sparkling or glittering or tall or dressed up in bows and tinsel at all.
You don't have to be all pruned and puffed up. You don't need all that fancy fluff. Just be you. That will always be enough. You don't have to be a perfect tree. You just have to be you. You just have to be Rooty.
And Rooty took off the tinsel. He removed every bow, every bauble, every sparkle. He had nothing left to show except Rooty. And with all that glittery stuff piled up on the floor, Rooty remembered what he traveled to Tinseltown for.
I tried. I just wanted to find a true meaning of Christmas, Grandmaster Tree or not. That was my one real wish.
Well, hello there, Miss Emily. I'm Marie. Did I hear you wanted to find a real meaning of Christmas?
Yes, I do.
Well, praise God, you're in luck. Or rather, be blessed, I should say. The real meaning of Christmas can be found down that way.
Thank you.
Could it be true? Will Rooty find the true meaning of Christmas? in that little town called Bethlehem? Well, if I know you, and I think I do, you want to know. So let's follow him. The road to Bethlehem was dark, but not scary. A bright, brilliant star shone overhead. So Rooty didn't feel scared. He followed that star to a tiny little stable in that tiny little town. And when he arrived, do you know what he found? There in that stable with cows and some sheep, some chickens, and a donkey, a little baby was asleep, all cuddled up in the manger. A baby boy was resting beside him. His mother and father sat watching.
Well, hello there, little tree. Come closer, friend. He's just sleeping in this manger that we have made into his bed. Joseph, look at this beautiful tree.
Are you talking to me? I'm sorry. Are you talking to me?
Yes, you. Since our little boy has come into this world, our little hope, there has been filled with a special light, and every visitor that we have had tonight has had their own gift to our newborn king.
A king?
First these poor shepherds, watching sheep on a nearby hill. They brought us news that while they were watching their sheep, angels filled the skies with light and praises. And then these men who traveled from far and wide knelt down right there by the little boy's side and gave him these gifts of frankincense, myrrh, and gold, gifts fit for a king.
Oh, but I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't bring anything.
Oh, little tree, you have came just for you. That's enough with him. All you ever need to be. Look, Jesus, your first Christmas tree.
Who, me? But I'm nothing. I'm nothing. No garland, no, or tinsel, no gifts or lights anywhere on me. And I didn't want the star crown because I'm nowhere near a Christmas tree.
You are as grand as you ever need to be. Jesus is into garland, glitter, and bows. He knows your heart kind, little tree. And now, look, gifts fit for a king.
I know a star crown may sound like a very nice prize, but open your eyes and look to the skies. Could you ask for a brighter star to light up your head? A crown might be nice, but doesn't a star make a better crown instead?
And no glitter, glimmer, or glitter, no jewels, trinket, or more could be better ornament than the one you came here looking for.
Christmas, I believe I found you, and not too far from Tinseltown. So close, and yet so far away, but such a simple road to walk down. No directions needed, no grand master star crown. Christmas was here, just waiting to be found.
Finally, Rooty's Christmas wish came true in that tiny little stable when he met his tiny new forever friend. And Christmas began to be about more than his traveling to Tinseltown, or he would still admire the pretty lights and watch the parade march through town. But first, he would always walk down that road to Bethlehem and invite others to go with him. And each year, more and more would join in, because all who came were amazed to see they didn't need the decorations and glitter to inspire this little baby. They just needed to They just needed that to come and be who they are. And to this day, they still point to that road. That's not too far to say that you are all welcome there. However, they are so if you have a Christmas wish to find the meaning that is true, go down that road. It's waiting for you.